All right, here we are at the end of the day. We're going to quickly go through the interior and see what's changed. We can see right away right here, we got a line set for our heating and air conditioning unit. That's going to go in the living room. So that's that. And we could, if we follow that back, you know, underside there, we follow it all the way back in the ceiling here. And here it comes down. It's going to come down the wall. You can see two of them are here and out the wall. That was the one from the living room. If we follow it back, there's going to be one that pops right through here. And this is going to be for the bedroom. So the bedroom's going to have a wall-mounted heating and air conditioning unit, and the living room's going to have one too. It's a heat pump system that does both heating and air conditioning. So that was cool, that's added. Let's show you some other things related to that. It's coming out here, this white pipe is for the condensate for the air conditioning. So that's gonna go down the wall and under the floor and out. And we also have one of those here for the unit in the bedroom. Same thing, goes down the wall into the floor system and out. And we'll go check that out in a second. Also, I think they did all the electrical. So we've seen different versions of it, but here we have the electrical complete, all wired up, all powered up, all the breakers in, they're all tied together. Now the panel is not hot right now, but they did test it, and so they got some good things going on. I'm going to add a sub-metering system, so that's what those little round coils are over those power. Those bigger cables are the ones that are coming from the main panel. So that's the beginning of my sub-metering system, but I need to figure that out a little bit. Also, I terminated the low voltage, so all the blue lines here are terminated into this panel, patch panel, and I terminated two of my cables. The center one is the one that comes from the street, and then I have one there that's terminating to the living room right now. I'm going to add three more, I think, two to the bedroom and one more to the living room. And then of course I have a little extra cable up there. And then this skinny wire that's looped here, this little skinny wire that's looped, that's a fiber optic cable that we just threw in there, even though I don't have fiber optic in my neighborhood yet. Maybe I will, and we'll get to use it. So that's the inside. Here's some other work that they did today. They added this 100 amp breaker, the one there on the right. 100 amp breaker is for the ADU, the one on the left is for the main house, and then the 30 amp is for my air conditioning that we added like over 10 years ago. Also, they pulled me some cable, some coax and some fiber optic cable. That's the loose one there, and that's my internet right here. So I'm pulling a second cable just in case I want to be able to add internet separately for the ADU. So that's that. So this is the back side of the panel. I'll zoom in here for a second. There we go. So if I go from left to right, that gray cable is the new cable. That's for the ADU. The next big cable that's all beat up, that's the cable that goes from the service here to the sub panel of my main house. That white cable is a cable that goes to my air conditioning unit we added about 10 years ago. And of course there's a conduit there that brings down the power from the power poles. So that's what they added. They added that gray cable to go to the ADU today. So I just wanted to show where they came through pulling the cables from the main service. So that big gray cable right there, that's the SER cable that comes from the main service that brings the 100 amps to the ADU. And then this is network and cable for the internet, and then there's the fiber optic cable that came through there. And of course they're just come through the existing house attic space and then come in here and get run along in this attic space over to the panel. So that was pretty exciting. Copper these days is pretty expensive. It's amazing sometimes to, you know, how much things cost, just materials. But anyways. So they also hooked up the sewer completely. So here we are now. We have the pipe in the trench and it keeps going on out there. Keeps going on out there all the way out to the street. Or not to the street, to the tie-in. We'll just follow that out. Keeps going. We'll just keep following it out. And there it is, tied in. So that's good. So the sewer's tied in. This is like a testing, I don't know what it's called, but it's a balloon. They could pump it air. They told me that they filled the drain pipes up with water to make sure there was no leaks. And so that's there to make sure the water doesn't pop out. So that's cool that they got the sewer hooked up. Also, I talked about this white pipe being a supply line. That is not a supply line, but it's going to be. That line got put in when the sewer got fixed about 10 years ago, and there's the end of it. That's not connected to anything, but we're going to, my real supply line's right there that runs up to the valve. We're going to fix that whole valve. We're going to take off that PVC pipe and connect it to this new one, and then we're going to connect the new pipe downstream at the meter box. But I also think, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think he's going to tie into this line right here to supply the ADU and go back to the ADU from there. So that's kind of cool.